Morning, guys. Sorry I didn't get here a little bit earlier, but I was working on my state calling. I was actually posting a baptism. I wanted to come on here and tell you we made it. We got here a little bit earlier than yesterday and the other days before. We did actually pretty good. The kids are in a good spirit. My daughter did ask me this morning if she could stay in, but I kind of told her no. I told her to get up, that we had to go, said my prayer along the way, and we kind of just we made it. We did pretty good. There's still kids showing up right now at 6:15. Yeah, I made my kids go in through the side entrance today so that I could see to make sure that they walked in okay. I think there's going to be a sister who's going to walk around. Anyway, so yeah, we're here. The kids are still coming in. There's more kids showing up. Yeah, I think I might have seen maybe about 10 walk in already. So, anyway. Okay, well, let me talk a little bit about yesterday, and I'm sure you guys are going to know what I'm going to talk about because it was all over Facebook yesterday. So, thoughts on what happened yesterday with the shooting at the school, and two, with the whole Charlie Kirk assassination. My sister had just sent a message on our private message as a family, and she posted that, and so I was gonna go look at it, but I got sidetracked, and my son walked in, and he was so stressed out about it, and he started talking to me about it. He's usually the first one to come to tell us about any type of news and stuff, and so he came into the room. I had to kind of calm him down. I told him, once I did see it, I was like, why would they put this out there? I know people want to know everything and they want to know all the details and stuff, but we have to also keep in mind that there are teenagers that are on social media. Sorry guys, this thing is reloading and trying to reload. It's annoying. I don't know what's going on. It just says that the internet is trying to, reconnect. Anyway, so yeah, and I said a little prayer in my mind right now just so that I could have the proper words to say, because I don't want to start anything on social media. But I do think it's important for us to understand that this affects our children. Teenagers are on social media, whether we like it or not. They find ways to get online, and they are being shown all these graphic images and can cause fear in them. I had to calm my son down a little bit and explain the situation to him. And although he was one that did not really care for Charlie Kirk, he always voiced his opinion. He thought, he was a certain way towards university students. And I told him that wasn't true. And half the time we have to watch what they're watching too, because they are being told a lot of things about him, and he might have thought Charlie Kirk was a bully and stuff, and he really wasn't. He was just trying to educate the students, in my opinion, right? Everybody's going to have their opinions, but I think he stood for a lot of great things, and even if people did not agree with the way he thought or how he felt, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I don't think that it should have come to that. I don't think that he deserved to be assassinated, honestly. And then in front of all of those people, and for the world to see, because there were so many cameras there apparently, and I feel really bad for all the university students that are traumatized from that kind of a situation and had to flee the university. I think it is really sad to see what things have come to. And it does put some fear into our children. My daughter is not really one to really get into like the news things and stuff like that. We usually hear it from my son. And so my son, he worries, right? He worries about safety and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I'm actually taking some time to also take therapy over grief and over other things, because I've learned certain things now that allow me to control my emotions. And so I've been able to use some of those things and explain certain things to my son, or some of the things that he can do to remain calm. And normally I would be a little bit more like worried and scared about certain situations. And I am starting to learn to be more like calm about the situation. I had a really long talk with my son as he paced back and forth in his room. And I explained to him that, yeah, I agree. It was something that shouldn't have happened to him, even though like my son didn't really like certain things that he would say or do or whatever. When I explained my side of things, he understood them. He agreed that he did not deserve to have that done to him. He realized that, you know, we all need to like accept each other's opinions and stuff, and that we should not be fighting that way. And I think if anything, when something bad happens in America, you know, I think people usually come together for the most part. There are some people who still suffer mentally and don't have very much heart and have the audacity to come on people's platforms and on people's pages and just want to start drama and just want to voice their opinion, whether, you know, it is not their place to do so or whatever, but they do it anyway. We just have to learn to tolerate people. And that's something I told my son. I'm like, babe, we just need to learn to like tolerate people, okay? We need to learn to be good people. We need to learn to love. We need to learn to, yes, we can share our values and our standards and, you know, our beliefs, but also learn to tolerate people and their beliefs and just kind of, you know, don't get so involved and so upset about what people normally say. Like for me, I feel that when people come on my page and they just want to like say something rude or just, you know, just want to start drama, like I normally would just block them. Yeah, I get a little upset and whatever, and I kind of carry it for a little bit, but I've learned not to do that anymore. Especially these past days, I've learned to just calm myself down and be like, you know what, whatever. You know, and honestly, yesterday I was going to block somebody, but I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to leave them there. I don't really care. If they continue, obviously I will, right? But I'm not going to allow every little thing that people say on my page to annoy me or bother me or ruin the rest of my day. So, you know, I'm learning myself as I get older and as I learn certain things, and because of the platform and because I put myself out there on social media and because of the calling that I have right now, I have to learn to get along with everybody, you know, at least try my best to listen to people, love them, try my best to, you know, stay out of certain triggering things. And yeah, and I'm just so grateful that I'm able to have the knowledge and the experience to be able to talk to my son and calm him down. Then later on during the day, my daughter did come in. She saw that our church ended up putting out a statement. I did see some other videos that were a little out of place. I think that people are going to create their own narratives. They're going to create their own they're going to create their own stories. I think people need to wait to like actually hear the right things. I think that things are still developing. I think things need to be just wait and see exactly what they're going to do and what they're going to say and what they're going to come up with. Things are very fresh. Things need to be allowed some time to be handled. But for the most part, we need to try our best. People are walking. We need to try our best to just, put our kids at ease, talk to them, love them, hug them, tell them that everything's going to be fine, that we believe in God, that we have good values, we're good people, we know right from wrong, and we just need to just provide that comfort and that love and that support that they need. They are living in some really challenging times, and I feel really bad for them. And I feel bad for not just for them, for us too, right? That we're having to deal with these situations and still have to like grasp it in our mind and try to calm ourselves down, and then still have to have certain words to say to our children to put them at ease. And even though we might feel that things are crazy and everything, we need to bring peace into our homes and bring peace. Like if you have a platform like I do, like I try to like put things out there, bring hope, bring positivity, bring lots of love. And granted, I'm a human. I have my own struggles. I stress out. I have my own problems and stuff. I still try to be a light out there. And like I told you yesterday in yesterday's video, I wish yesterday's video was a little bit more positive, but I did share a little bit of not my personal things as much. I just kind of like shared that I was struggling a little bit with even wanting to be online anymore. I kind of felt like I just wanted a break and wanted to get away from it all, and kind of was questioning, why am I even doing this? But I struggled with it a little bit yesterday too. I was still kind of like, but then after seeing what happened, it kind of like brought me back to like, no, we still need to be a light. We still need to be putting hopeful messages out there. And I did share that with my son. I did tell him that is the reason why I do what I do. A lot of people might not see value in what I do, but I do try to help as much as I can. I try to be a light. I try to focus on positive things. I try to, help where I can. And so, the whole situation that happened yesterday just kind of, I guess, fueled me a little bit to kind of put my 2 cents out there and put my little grain of salt out there and try to be a voice for the Lord where I can, and just continue to do what I do. Granted, I'm going to have some challenging times and I'm going to feel a certain way about certain things. I try for the most part to stay neutral in a lot of things, because I don't want any drama. I don't like drama. I don't tolerate drama. If people are going to come on my page and try to start drama, or just try to, put little unheartful things on my page, I'm just going to block you. I don't really care. And I think that kind of fueled me to not caring as much either. I was just kind of like, you know what? I don't really care. I don't care if I grow. I don't care if I make any money. I don't care if, before it was more like, okay, like, I have a platform, I have a voice, like I want to make some income out of this. I want to support my family. I want to be able to grow. And you know what? Certain things I've seen these past couple of days have got me to thinking like, you know what? I don't really care. I don't really care. And I've noticed that my views are going up like on YouTube, and, like I'm getting up on Instagram, like I'm getting up on certain things. But now it's like, I don't really care. I don't really care. I don't care to grow. I care to put my 2 cents out there for the Lord, and I want to be a light to people. And even if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that I can help, then that's it. You know, I don't really care to have all these weird people that are just spamming for views or for comments or stuff like that. So it's like, no, I don't care. I will block them. I will block them. I will block a lot of people that I don't need to come and mess up my space or what I'm trying to create. And so, yeah, I feel like, you know, the whole situation with Charlie Kirk, I think just kind of fueled a little bit in me to continue to stand as a light and not be back. Like, I'm not going to back down over fear. You need to stand up for your kids. You need to stand up for your beliefs. You need to stand up for Christ, for our Heavenly Father. And it is what it is. And whoever doesn't like it, pues ni modo, right? It is what it is. So yeah, I ask the Lord to walk before me in everything that I do, to walk aside of my children and walk before them and bless them and take care of them. And, you know, it's easy to go and crawl into bed and live in fear and just, you know, but that's not very healthy mentally. And I've been there, which is why I'm talking about it, because I feel like I tried to overprotect my kids, my family, because I didn't want anything bad to happen to them. I lived in the what ifs all the time. I've had to sit down with my bishops and explain, you know, my fears, my issues at home, certain things that caused me to live that way. And I feel like I'm in a place right now where I feel stronger and I am able to voice that it's not a good place to live in. So do not live there. Do not live in fear. Do not live with anxiety. Do not allow social media or any type of news to do that to you. You know, we need to believe in God. And this is something that I have found that I think we as I don't want to make it sound bad, but I think as Latter-day Saints, as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you know, I've been a member my whole life. And I remember growing up, you know, happy kid and everything. As you grow older, you know, certain things you start worrying about, you know, that you did this wrong, you did that wrong. Is God going to love me? This and that. Something that I've always admired about just Christians and about, you know, how I'm a Christian too. But what I'm saying is that they are so strong. And I think that comes from a lot of scripture study. And, you know, we also learn a lot of scriptures, right? But I've noticed the Christian simplified books allow them to understand the terms more simply. And so they are able to understand everything. We learn from the King James Version, which sometimes can be, because it has bigger words, it has, you know, stuff that you have to like look up, and it's just, you know, sometimes can be a bit confusing. Anyway, so we have so many other scriptures. We have the Book of Mormon, we have Doctrine and Covenants, we have the Pearl of Great Price, we have, you know, we have other things that we look at, like the Family Proclamation. We have so much stuff to read, so many things. As far as I know, the Christians only just stick to the Bible and that's it. So we have a lot more things to read and to look at. Not to mention that we have a lot more responsibilities. As Latter-day Saints, we have a lot to do. We have callings. that we need to help, and we have activities, we have programs. I'm not saying that, Christians do not have programs, because they do, because I've attended some of them. I used to go and attend with my best friend and stuff. But I feel that having a strong foundation and a belief in Christ, and and what he died for, and our Heavenly Father, we are so similar in those ways. And so I just love the fact that, when you have that true understanding about Christ and about what he did and what he died for, you will come to have this strength within. When you come to feel his love and how he sees you, how he moves certain things for you, it just changes you. It just completely changes you. And all you want to do is study about him, and just, for me, I can only speak for me, but for me, I feel that my whole day, I don't mind listening to Christ-centered things. I love to listen to the BYU channel. I love to listen to the Ensign College. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly listening to general conference talks. My entire day is usually revolved around that. If I do not consume myself with that, I feel like I allow bad things into my space. Like when I would listen to the news, I would feel like so stressed out, because I feel like I need to protect, I need to take care of, like this is what's happening, like I need to voice my opinion, like blah, 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 blah. And you start developing all this fear. And when I completely take that away and just focus on Christ-centered things, I feel like my day goes by so much better. I feel that I feel so much more powerful. I feel protected. I feel like I can, like I have a little bit more control over things. I do not like feeling like I cannot control certain things. Granted, I've also learned that you can't control everything. I've learned that you need to allow the Lord to step in so you can see his hand in things, and so that you can come to know him more. I'm just so grateful for the gospel and for the Lord allowing me to get to know him. And I'm not a perfect person, never said I have been, but I am a person who is trying on a daily basis to come to know what my purpose is here, the worth that I am here, the worth that I have here, to stand firm, to learn to be still in certain situations, so that I'm able to see his hand in things. And I've also learned to pray a lot more, to be able to listen to him, to be able to come here and actually share important messages. It is really hard to come on here on platforms and just turn on a camera and just start talking. You're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation where people will try to dissect your life and try to come up with their own narratives or stories about you, or they will try to trigger you just to see how you're going to react and stuff. And I'm just so grateful that I'm learning not to react to certain things. If I see a comment, because I too try to engage and try to interact with people. I like doing that, but I will not engage with people who are going to start drama. I will allow them to be there for a little bit, but if I see that they're being very disrespectful, or they're trying really hard to grab my attention with inappropriate things, I will block them. I'm not going to tolerate certain things. They're not going to come into my space or put any type of evil into what I am trying to do. I want my page to be a light. I want my page to be helpful. And that is my only purpose for why I do what I do here. I do put a little bit of personal things out there, but I have heard the voices in my home, and they do tell me to walk carefully. They do worry about certain things, and I am going to try my best to stay within certain parameters so that I do not affect my family's sacredness. So, yeah, I think that we always come together as Americans, as the Lord's people. And when something bad happens, I think we come back stronger. And so I think that's what's going to happen. This event is not going to bring people down. I think people are going to stand up. I've seen a lot of people stand up. I think a lot of people are sharing beautiful things online. At first, it was nothing but, I think, inappropriate images and videos of the situation. Those things should be turned into like law enforcement and like things like that. I don't think they should be put online for views or for any purpose other than to find out who's the one that, did that, or who are the people that were associated in it. I think that we've come a little bit far, I think, when it comes to sharing certain things. And it can get like that, honestly, because of views and because you want people to notice you. I think people have lost a sense of privacy, a sense of, myself included. I think that sometimes I can do that. But at the same time, I think certain things do need to be put out there to help others. I have been helped a lot by people sharing their most tragic things, like there are certain, leaders in our church that have shared very personal things like, they lost a family member to cancer, or, how they grew up and how a certain traumatic situation helped turn their life around. I've watched podcasts that have opened up my eyes about, drug addiction and certain addictions, or, how they came back to Christ. There are certain things that should be put out there to help others. And I do think that certain things should be put out there for that. But I do think that we need to be careful. I think the news, I think certain platforms do it for views. I think that we need to be careful. We are trampling on some very scary territory, and we are teaching our children to do the same. And for what? Like I was telling my husband yesterday, I'm like, I'm working for Facebook. They pay me, right? It's not a lot what they pay me, right? But they do pay me. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, these are the same people that silence certain things. I feel like I'm silenced a lot with the things that I voice, that I share. I share a lot of, gospel truths, scripture study. I share, lots of love out there, Christ-centered things. I share a lot of things, and I feel like my views go down. My views go down when I share things like that. But no más I share a makeup video, or I share some food, or I share something else, and my views go up. And so that basically shows you what the agenda is. Like, I share many good and helpful things. As soon as this whole thing happened with the event, very graphic images were surfacing on Facebook and on YouTube. And it's like, okay, we cannot share Christ-centered things, but it's okay for you to share him being hit like that. I was very upset about that yesterday. And I know I voiced my opinion on my Facebook page. I tried to remain calm though. I tried not to overshare my feelings. But I'm glad that I'm doing it now. And I want to be that light also, like so many other people are coming out, making beautiful videos of him and his family and what he stood for, and certain talks and podcasts and like different things that he did. I'm so grateful for people who are spinning this around in a light instead of, sharing graphic images and just evil things. And so if you're going to come on here and share any type of things like that, just know that you're going to be blocked, because I am not going to tolerate things like that. You are entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to share what you want on your page. Not on here. Not on here. Here, I'm in a space where I am sharing light and love and Christ-centered things and helpful things. And so I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there. So that was that event. And then the other event was apparently the shooting that happened in one of the schools. That is really getting out of hand. I think there needs to be, I think that a lot of mental illness is happening around the world. And I think it has a lot to do with social media. I think it has a lot to do with everything that's being put out there. And it is causing fear. It's allowing people to bully other people. I'm really grateful that the school system, which I know my kids do not like, I do believe that there's a purpose for the phone, but I also think that school time is school time and the phones should be put away. I think the phones should be left in the classrooms for in case of an emergency. Maybe they could put little pocket holders on the wall or whatever, or put them in their cubbies. They know that they're there. But, the teacher has the time and the floor to teach our children. And in case of an emergency, the kids should have a way to get to their phones to let parents know. I think there needs to be common ground on that. I think my kids were very upset about the fact that they did put that into place, and they did not like that. They started feeling fear without their phone, and that should not be the case. We have come really far, I think, in just always wanting our phone to be on. I'll just share something. I hadn't paid my phone for like 2 days. I think it was like 2 days. We were without a phone yesterday, completely. All day yesterday, we didn't have our phone. I've been without my phone a couple of times, like 2 months, which is why I have a new number a couple of times this year. Times are tough. You have to figure out what's more important. The phone wasn't the most important. Our Wi-Fi was important because hubby had to work from home. I work from home. So that was more important. Light is more important. Water is more important. Paying rent is more important. Your phone is not as important. I've been able to live without my phone. Today, after this whole event that happened yesterday, I feel just to give my kids a little bit of peace and stuff, I connected our phone. I was going to wait for a few days, just so that, we could pay it. And sorry, the kids are already starting to come out. So I'm probably not going to be able to finish, but why are you out early?
Just the time.
It's not even 6:50 yet.
My phone does.
Oh, then my thing is wrong?
Probably.
Where's Rihanna?
To go to the bathroom.
Okay, go watch her and bring her back. Anyway, so I can just finish up. So anyway, yeah, we ended up connecting the phones just so the kids could be, they could feel a little bit of comfort and stuff. But honestly, guys, having the phone 24/7 does not allow us to be a part of family things. I feel like yesterday, when my kids did not have their phones, they interacted so much more. They were engaged. They were happy. Yeah, I don't know. I just have a lot of stuff, but I've also learned to be more grounded, be more focused on the Lord, and not be triggered by what's going around. And not that Charlie Kirk's or the kids who were shot and stuff, and or the shooting that happened or whatever is not hurting and should not be given any room for emotions. It's just that we need to get a hold of our emotions and remember that we're here for a time. And like what one of my friends said, one of the sisters from our church said, we're just walking each other home. We are one day going to go back to see our Heavenly Father and see Christ and all of the loved ones that have gone before us. And that is where I want my focus to be. And not in the fear that the world is trying to cause. So I hope that this video brings some light and shows a lot of love. And remember to love your neighbor, and remember that we're human and we are going to make mistakes, and we're not all going to have the same opinion, but we can still find common ground and allow each other to feel what we feel and share what we share. And, you know, we can all just be kind and just look out for each other. And yeah. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. My kids should be coming out already. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the time. Sorry about, I wish it was a little bit different of a video, but I did want to put my little 2 cents out there and just, remind you to talk to your kids, hug your kids, love your kids, put your family first. We're only here for a short time. We don't know how long. Allow yourself some time to be at peace and to come to the Lord. I know we're always going go, 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 busy, 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 but we need to learn to be still as well and learn to listen to Him, because He will guide us. He will keep us from harm. He will show us. He will show His hand more. And as the prophet promised, we will see His majesty in these times. And so I am waiting to see His majesty in all this. And I think we do see His majesty in certain things, because people are standing up and they're standing for truth and they're standing for light, and they are showing their love for God. This is the time that it's not just all bad. I think that there's two, obviously, forces. There's a lot of bad out there, but there's a lot of good. And I want to be part of the good. And I know that a lot of people are doing the same. And so I want to stand with those people. Like I told my son, I want to be on the Lord's side. And so I know He will make anything that's wrong right in His own way and in His own time. And so we just need to have that hope and that love. And yeah. So anyway, my kids are coming already. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. I don't know if I'm going to do any other videos, but thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon, guys. My daughter's already coming out, and my son. Okay, bye.